I'm Jo Ann Hardesty, and I'm running for Portland City Council Position 3. I am so excited about this election. This election is a game changer because we have the opportunity to elect someone who will represent people whose voices are really heard in City Hall. My campaign is really about access, it's about good green jobs, it's about housing and houselessness, and it's also about police accountability. And my work in this community over the last 28 years has totally prepared me for this role on Portland City Council. I would love it if you'd go to my website at joannforportland.com and check it out. What you'll see is a wealth of experience, a wealth of community engagement, and quite frankly, the ability to bring people together from all different perspectives to solve some of our complex problems. This election is only 34 days, and I am really excited because I believe Portlanders are ready for fearless leadership, leadership that will stand up for regular people regardless of where they find those problems. And quite frankly, I think Portlanders are ready for leaders who are willing to build coalitions and to reach out beyond downtown Portland. We have talent in every single corner of the city of Portland, but we rarely go to North Portland or East Portland and ask people how their lives are being impacted by the public policies that we're passing. I will be the kind of leader that will spend most of my time outside of City Hall because City Hall is not where I belong. I belong out there talking to the people that are like me. We have some big issues to solve in this community, but I'm absolutely convinced that working together, we can get a handle on some of these huge issues that just seem to just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Housing is something that's on everyone's mind. Transportation's on everyone's mind. And you need a leader that's going to work across different governments as well as across the aisle to bring people together to help solve these problems. So check out my site. joannforportland.com. May 15th is election day. Please educate yourself. There's a place for you to go and you can check out everybody's information on your own. It's the Secretary of State's website and it's called ORSTAR, O-R-E Star. So it's basically Oregon Star. And there, every contribution and expenditure that every candidate from my seat has is recorded. And you get to check for yourself and see. I am happy to say my campaign is supported by regular people, so from $5 to $5,000. $5,000 is my ex-mother-in-law, but regular people, and you can do that for everybody in this race. And so you can judge for yourself when people say that they support low-income people or people of color or they're supporting people who are marginalized. Check out who's giving them money and find out if that's true. Hopefully you will participate in May 15th. That's how your voice gets heard, is that you actually send your ballot in and make sure that you vote for the person that you think will represent you best. And I have to say, if you don't vote, then you're allowing somebody else to pick for you. Thank you on a leave of absence from K-Boo. I can't wait to come back. And my show is called Voices from the Edge. We're going to change the title slightly. It will be Voices from the Edge of City Hall. So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I'm looking forward to is in November, you will have an opportunity to vote on a ballot measure called the Portland Clean Energy Trust Initiative. And it was created in coalition with the Portland NAACP, the Native American Youth and Adult Association, APANO, the Asian Pacific Islander Network of Oregon, Verde, Sierra Club, and 350 PDX. It will tax large retail operations with a $1 billion of national sales, $500,000 sales in the city of Portland. It will create a pool of resources around $30 to $35 million annually. And those resources will be invested in creating a workforce for our new clean energy economy. Quite frankly, in the first 2 years, if we wanted to, we could retrofit every low-income multifamily apartment complex in the city of Portland. But what we're going to do is invest these dollars in making sure that those left out of the economic engine actually benefit from these dollars. And at the same time, address climate mitigation issues at the same time. So I'm really excited. It should be on your November ballot. We just have to get the signatures and make that happen. And so that's one of the projects I'm most proud of. It took us 2.5 years to develop that. But I've also been involved in like voter registration projects that registered over 52,000 voters with Oregon Action back in 2010. I'm very excited about that because my philosophy has always been is that if you treat everybody with dignity and respect, regardless of their socioeconomic status, their race, their country of origin, people will rise to the occasion and they will give you their best. And that's what I believe from all corners of Portland, and that's what I've learned in my time here. And so I'm looking forward to tapping into that talent when I get to the city council. Housing is the number one issue on people's mind. If people are housed, they're stressed about whether or not they're going to be able to maintain their housing. And people who are on the street are stressed about whether they're ever going to be able to afford to get back into affordable housing. Affordable housing is at a crisis in our community, and we need to actually be creative and think totally outside of the box. And there's some great opportunities. I know Ecumenical Ministries has a pilot project that matches empty nesters with families that need housing. And then they do background checks and they do contracts. And that's worked very successfully because it gives elders, young people running around a house, and it gives them an opportunity to learn social media from the teenagers that are attached to the family. So it's a win-win, and it builds community. We also know we have many people who will never live on their own, and so having housing with services attached to them is much more humane than giving people a list of services and then saying, go find those services on your own. We also know that a lot of people don't need their own kitchen or their own laundry room, so we should be building housing how people live. People live multi-generationally. People also live with shared space, so think about living in a community where people shared meals 2 or 3 times a week, and you had the choice to do it or not do it, totally up to you. A lot of people don't need their own laundry room, so we should be building housing that accommodates people how they live, not how we've always done it. We will never build our way out of the housing crisis, so we have to use our current housing stock in a more effective manner. We also have to be first in line when a owner dies that has a multi-apartment complex to be able to purchase it. Just like with Holgate Manor, it was absolutely upsetting to me to find out that a California investor knew that the owner died and purchased it before the Portland Housing Bureau, even though we're supposedly in a housing emergency. And so housing is on everyone's mind. And the number 2 big issue is transportation. Unfortunately, I live in a community where the city has failed to invest in the infrastructure of the city. So I live in a city with very poor public transportation, almost no north-south bus transportation, and streets that are crumbling, have never had sidewalks, big holes. In the wintertime, it's absolutely dangerous for kids to go to school, especially because it's dark in the morning and dark in the evening. But as a city councilor, it will be my responsibility to work with TriMet and Metro and the other governments that have an impact on our transportation system to make sure that East Portland gets its fair share. And so it's important to have representation, and today no one on the city council lives in East Portland, and I will be that voice. And so check out my website, joannforportland.com, and if you can help get us through these next 34 days, we'd love to have your help.